My name is Liz Billings-Fooey, and I am the lucky director of preschool where all those children attend. I'm looking out and I'm seeing so many of our staff and administrators and people that have helped us do this over this many, many years that we've been working on this. And I'd like to welcome you all here, and to quote one of our families, this is an auspicious occasion. So this is a groundbreaking ceremony, and it's the start of a new building and a new experience for all of us, but it's also a waypoint. I've been thinking a lot about this in a long journey that has 27 years in the making and lots of moves and lots of changes. And I was thinking that we in the preschool are developmentalists. We believe in helping children by giving them just what they need right when they need it, and one little step at a time. And Lexington has been able to do that for us over the 27 years. We've always had what we needed from the town when we needed it. And sometimes we've had to push the envelope a little bit. Sometimes we had to stretch and change and work in a couple of different spaces. But we've always been able to meet the needs of the kids, and that's been a blessing. So now that we've grown and moved this many times, we started this process, and I think, Donna, we can verify, but I think there were maybe 10 different sites that were considered. And a lot of you were in the rooms for a lot of those meetings. And luckily, this building will allow us to be safe and give the children the program that they need all together. We won't be split up. It'll be so wonderful. So I'd be remiss if I didn't thank all the people that helped us. The Lexington administration, by supporting us in general, and we had 3 different superintendents cover this span of time, but they were all supportive. And the school committee for keeping this on the table, even at 10 o'clock at night on a snowy night. We'd still be talking about the preschool, which was great. And the Department of Public Works and DENISCO for keeping us in plans and what's going to come next. Permanent Building Committee, who helped refine those plans, helping us with the floor plan and what we should do and making it whimsical and fun. Teresa did that, and the town manager and the Board of Selectmen, who got us to town meeting so the town meeting members could help us move it through and get it into the vote, and then it went before the citizens. So we need to thank every one of those people that along the way helped us, giving us a just right opportunity at the just right time. And I personally want to thank you for your support. December 5th, I started out saying December 4th, but December 4th was really stressful until about 8 o'clock at night. And then it got really good. So that was one of the brightest days of my career. That was so reinforcing and so wonderful. And we as a team will be forever grateful for this gift. And we find ourselves teaching together. We won't forget how we got there. So thank you very much for all of that. And I'd like to introduce Julie Hackett, our new superintendent.
And lucky for you, I have a 2-page speech. I was not sure exactly how formal this would be, so I prepared a few remarks, and I did it because I wanted to make sure that I didn't forget anybody in the process. There are many people to thank. I appreciate Liz's Vygotskian metaphor around the building project. And I want to say good afternoon and a very special thank you to all who are here to celebrate today. It looks like the rain's going to hold out, so we're going to be able to go to the groundbreaking on-site, shovels in the ground. It will be brief, but this is nice and cozy, and we couldn't bring children to the site for safety reasons and obvious reasons, so we thought we'd bring the children here, and then we would go and break ground, as is tradition. So I wasn't here in December when the LCP vote went through. I was actually working in another district at the time, but I was with Lexington in spirit at that time. And actually, if I'm being really honest, I had just submitted my application for the job I now hold as the 3rd superintendent who's worked on this project. And it occurred to me that if the LCP vote passed, and if I was fortunate enough to be chosen the next superintendent of the schools in Lexington, then the enrollment pressure would ease up a little bit and life would be much easier when I finally arrived. And that turned out to be the case. So that has been a delight, but there have been plenty of other projects. Yes, Nathan. There have been plenty of other projects to fill its space. And the vote did pass because in the short amount of time that I've been in Lexington, here is what I have learned. This is a community that values education and cherishes its children in a way that is unparalleled or seen in any other community that I have ever known. And on behalf of the Lexington Public Schools, I want you to know that we are so very grateful. I accepted the position as superintendent of schools in Lexington in January, which was shortly after that December 4th vote. And while I wasn't physically with you at the time of the vote, as I mentioned, I was with you in spirit. I'm told that when the vote passed, Liz Billings-Fooey, our talented pre-K director, cried actual tears of joy because she knew that this project would mean so much for the little ones in our community. She also knew what it would mean for the little ones who could not get into her program and had to be outplaced because there simply isn't enough room at LCP. And she also knew that keeping the little ones with us would be amazing in the future, and that's one of the things that we've talked about a lot and we are so looking forward to, because thanks to your commitment, we will be able to serve more children, and some of these little guys and girls have the greatest needs of any of our children, ensuring that they have access to high-quality, first-rate education of the kind that we provide in the Lexington Public Schools. Your support of the LCP project also means that we'll be able to create more space to accommodate the growing enrollment that was seen in recent years in Harrington, which is tremendously helpful. There are many people who deserve recognition for the new Lexington Children's Place School that will serve close to 200 people when it's done, and I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge them. And I hope I don't forget anyone, and if I do, shout their name out so we don't lose anybody. So during my first few weeks on the job, Carl Valente brought me to the site and told me the backstory about how the land was acquired, talked about the evolution of the project, and showed me where LCP would be. I was struck by his great vision and ability to seize opportunities and make possibilities a reality. I also want to extend my appreciation to Acting Town Manager Kelly. Where's Kelly? Kelly, the Board of Selectmen, Chairman Susie Berry, Mike Cronin, Director of Public Facilities, and all our wonderful partners in this effort. And I want to take a special moment to say it's been a pleasure to work with Mike, who deserves a great deal of credit for this project and works a lot behind the scenes. We're also grateful to Danisco Design Inc. and Donna, there she is, Donna Danisco in particular, and we appreciate their outstanding work and their deep understanding of what matters most in Lexington. I want to thank the owner's project manager construction monitoring services and the contractor CTA construction managers for their anticipated hard work in the days and weeks and months ahead. Special thanks also goes to members of the Lexington Children's Place Building Committee, including Kate Colburn, Teresa Wilson, Jill Hay, Peter C.J. Kelly, Philip Coleman, Charles Favazzo, did I do that right? Yeah. Okay, good. Jonathan Himmel, Howard Hobbs, Peter Johnson, Carl Oldenburg, and Richard Perry. I want to mention that this project would not have been possible without the hard work and dedication of all those who work behind the scenes to get community support, and I know Kathleen Lenahan was one of those people. Finally, a special thanks goes to Liz Billings-Fooey and her staff and to our school committee for their tireless efforts on behalf of our children. There is nothing more important than education and building a strong foundation early on, which is so vital to our students' future success. Winston Churchill said, "We shape our buildings, thereafter they shape us." One day soon, Lexington Children's Place will become a reality, and the new building will shape the hearts and minds of our little ones for many years to come. We're so grateful for the citizens of Lexington for your support. On behalf of everyone in our schools, and especially the little guys and girls you see here today, I want to extend my heartfelt thanks to the Lexington school community for your support of our children. Thank you very much.
Next, we'd like to hear from Eileen J. from the school committee.
So it's always a wonderful occasion when we're breaking ground on a new building project. But I have to say, this one is particularly thrilling and gratifying because it means we're able to give a permanent home to the Lexington Children's Place. And even though Liz says that we give you what you need when you need it, I think waiting 27 years is a bit long. We're
very patient in the
Yeah, indeed you are. But I'm just so glad that we're able to do this. You know, after looking at all the various possibilities, that it could end up here, right here on Pelham Road, in a wonderful location with a brand new building is just beyond words. And we're grateful to everyone who made this happen. Big thanks to Liz Billingsley and her team for all the work you do and all that you've put up with over these years, including, you know, running across parking lots to run your program across 2 separate buildings. I mean, it's just a phenomenal team, and you do a wonderful job, and you're just so deserving of having a space that's commensurate to the terrific program that you run. Thanks, of course, to all the Lexington Public Schools staff and the administration who have been behind this project. Thank you to Dinisco Design for just the ability to understand the needs of kids. And every time you come, there would be a new design, and you'd have all these reasons why this was going to be great for kids, and it was fun, and I will be so excited to see all those plans become actual brick and mortar and a fun place, an inviting place for our preschool program. So thanks for all that work. Thanks also to the project manager, CMS, and the construction company, CTA, who, as Dr. Hackett says, has some work ahead of them, but I hear that the old building's down, so they have a nice, fresh slate to work with. I also want to thank the Department of Facilities, Mike Cronin, and also Pat Goddard, who had put ever so much work into the planning of this project. And to all of the boards and committees that made this a reality, to the selectmen, the town manager, capital expenditures, appropriations, and town meeting, of course, to know that this was a property that could work for our needs. And I know it was a long process to get there, but really worthwhile. Thanks also to both past and current school committee members, because this was on our wish list for a long time, and it's really nice to see it actually happen. And to the community, to the Yes for Lexington campaign, who worked so hard, but mostly to the voters of Lexington, who were really, really supportive, I mean, as they often are for education. But I think this one was particularly special to have happen. And that night on December 4th, I don't know how often we get to see Liz Billingsley cry. She really, this was just such a momentous occasion for Liz and her program, and it was just a thrilling night. So I think we're all here to recognize what a wonderful thing we have that will become a reality, and as was said before, serve the kids who are the youngest participants in LPS, and have a wonderful program from here on in, and now a nice new space to operate in. So thanks to all.
And next, Joe Pato from the Board of Selectmen, and also from lots of coffees that we spent a lot of time at coffees last fall.
Coffees with voters.
Yeah.
And thankfully it all worked. I'm Joe Pato, member of the board. I'm joined by Susie Barry, our chair, and Doug Lucente. Jill Hay and Michelle Scullo weren't able to attend. And I'd say Norman Cohen and Peter Kelly were instrumental in getting us here as previous members of the board while we were working on this. This is an auspicious day, and we're here to join together in celebrating the future. This has been a long time coming. In the spring of 2015, the Armenian sisters approached Carl Valenti, and he and I came out here, I was chair at the time, to take a look at the property they were offering the town. this wasn't it. It was the one down the street. We said, that other property looks kind of interesting. So after a long process, it became the opportunity that we're digging into the ground today, and will create a wonderful space for the preschool and to provide the cohabitation of this campus for multi-generational activities throughout the future. So thank us all, and thank you all, and especially the voters, for having made it possible. Thanks.
So just as everything preschool is always just a little bit different than everything else, and reminiscent of this whole project, we couldn't have the groundbreaking on the grounds. We couldn't bring 80 kids in buses over here. It just wasn't going to be safe, wasn't going to work. But they're here somehow, and they are I just want to thank Jen Judkins, who was our new technology director, for loaning us Julie Spang, who helped with all of that. So that was not just us, that was help. But thank you everybody for coming, and we have hats for kids that haven't gotten them yet. And we are going to, please bring some food home. And we're going to go down and dig dirt, right? Is that what we're going to do?
Sorry, excuse me. We have a pile of dirt for some of you who might have already been there, but it's right by the carriage house. So we can either walk out the front and walk around down to this lower driveway, or are we going to attempt this in the... I think there's
a door here that takes you down, but it's not very fancy apparently. So and it might have spiders.
So you might want to go out the front door and walk around and down to the, it should only be a couple minutes, and I think the rain dance worked. So thank you, Ed.
All right, everyone ready on LCP? Oh, maybe LCP, just take a little bit of dirt and fling it. You ready? LexMedia, ready? LCP. A little more? A little higher? Get a little, ready? Fly it. Ready? Go.
You're good at it, Susie. You've had practice.
Thank you. Anyone else? Do you want to get it?
Yeah, we have to move it from here to over there.
Yeah. We can do that.
Shake it.
Sorry. All right, guys, ready? 1, 2, 3. Good?
It's kind of fun.